Hello, and welcome to Cursed Content by Committee, the only show where we let you pick epic movie for some reason.
Yeah, I don't get it.
With me, as always, is Date Dan and Disaster Bob from GigaBoots.com.
Man, Bob, you really made out a lot better than I did.
Yeah.
Disaster Bob sounds like a chiptune artist.
And KZ Movie 7 from KZExcellent.com.
We're getting rebooted.
We're watching epic movie.
Thanks, Bob. This is not my fault.
I don't know what to say about epic movie. My expectations for epic movie is, what if Doug Walker had $20 million to make a movie and was leaned even more heavily into shock humor and sex humor?
Yeah, and inserted weird fetish shit. That's what I'm expecting. That exact thing you just said with that one addendum.
I expect this to be bad because it does have big actors in it, one or two places, and it only had a budget of $20 million. I expect to basically just see the soul of Channel Awesome. Like, this is what Doug wanted his movies to be.
I expect this to somehow be the worst movie we've watched, and we recorded next month's cursed content already. That comment will become more meaningful over time.
That's insane.
If it's as bad as the cursed content for October, this movie will execute us in the street.
Oh no, not again.
Hey, Bob, what are your expectations?
I think it will be the most disgusting movie we can watch. We are watching the unrated version after all. That gives them license to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'll be as bad as the October movie.
Mm-hmm.
But that is no bar. That is nothing like a bar of quality there.
I'm glad you're an optimist, Bob. I'm glad you're thinking it will be better.
But it will be absolutely disgusting. It will just gross me out more than anything else we've watched.
Yeah. Will it gross you out more than the color grading in Twilight?
Yeah, obvious. Look, that's
Dan,
bad.
this movie is going to have far inferior color grading to
You
Twilight.
think this movie's going to use color grading? It came out in 2006 on $20 million budget.
It's going to have some kind of shitty filter over the entire movie.
That may be the case. That may be the case.
It'll make it look epic.
That shitty filter being a bad camera.
KZ, do you have any expectations?
I think this is going to be dreadful. There will be at least one thing that I think is funny. And this will probably be Dan at his most miserable.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, valued patrons, for enabling this. We have to go play Russian roulette with 5 bullets in the chamber now.
Bye, patrons. I hate you.
He doesn't mean it. Thank you for money.
I love money.
Let's with the voting stuff, though. Please.
And welcome back. Epic Movie is a 2076 film by Doug Walker. Upset at his career's nosedive and the fact he is considered a joke by everyone in the world, Doug Walker sent this film back in time to assault us.
Oh no!
Dan, what did you think of Doug Walker's Revenge epic movie?
Obviously, Doug Walker did some dark magic to get enough money to make this film. It had a $20 million budget, and I don't think that man can spend any money on content.
That was one hell of an Indiegogo, let me tell you.
Yeah, I know, right? He must have traveled back in time to a time when he had enough integrity to raise any money on Indiegogo. Focusing on the movie, though, instead of the time travel shenanigans. Because, it's important to view art without the context of the artist. It's important to view
the artist thing.
See, there you go. Epic Movie's genuinely terrible. I'm not quite sure it's as awful as the curse content we recorded for October, but I am going to give it a 5. It is all the way, or -5, because it's all the way at the bottom of the scale. And at that point, you just go numb. Epic Movie is genuinely terrible. It has a bunch of terrible jokes. It's repugnant. It's literally repulsive at multiple points. You just want to start puking. So many terrible moments in the film are just disgusting without any good payoff. The funniest moments in the film are people just without any bombast or anything slowly inserting a blade into someone else.
It's still really good.
When that's the best joke in your movie, there's a problem. I would say it was rather sullied by everything around it. So yeah, I'm giving it a -5. Fuck this film. It is truly terrible, and it's a tragedy that it made 4 times its budget.
Don't worry, the most latest film by these people made 10% of its budget.
That's more like it.
Yeah.
Bob, what did you think of Epic Movie, the unrated cut?
Yeah, it is absolutely disgusting at a lot of moments. The only thing that makes it better than other content we've watched is being shorter.
Yeah.
That's literally it. So I think this also has to sit down there with Control Alt Delete and other Channel Awesome films at -5.
Is this better or worse than Kick-Assia?
I feel like it's a little worse.
Yeah.
It's just because it's so disgusting. The Channel Awesome movies are dry, not funny, and expect you to know all these characters that I just don't, and it doesn't have any jokes. This is literally, I'm going to try and make you laugh by grossing you out. And I'm like, I don't really need to see all this. I don't want to see this. I really don't want to look at this.
But you also saw Doug Walker's taint, so...
I mean...
But this movie would have shown us
Right.
That was Suburban Nights.
Yeah, that was Suburban Nights too. That wasn't in the first one.
But yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
The fact we have to compare these films as an experience to Doug Walker's films says a lot. So that's 2 -5s, huh?
KZ, what's your take?
It was not super long. The scenes kept going to new stuff, so that's a plus in its favor. I don't feel like every time I made a chuckle or laughed at violence should really count as a positive in its favor necessarily. I'll laugh at basically anything and anything we watch. A lot of scenes were incredibly slow, not funny. Some things reminded me of things in pop culture I would rather forget. It was really bad. I'm probably going to give it I feel like I was more unhappy during other movies. So I'll just give it a -4. That being said, I tried to see if the Nostalgia Critic in fact did Epic Movie at any point, and he made an editorial video of "Is Parody Dead?" and the subject, the thumbnail's Epic Movie, with the description, "What happened to all the great spoof movies?" And given that this is a somewhat newer video, I want to hope that he thinks these are good movies and that he misses them.
He must, because he can't be like, Epic Movie's a terrible parody, and then make To Boldly Flee.
Of course he can. You can absolutely
Yes, he can.
be that person.
I mean, most of that movie is, oh my god, just rough parody. But his whole bit is doing rough parodies.
Uh-huh.
In his critiques of things.
We don't know what his opinion on this is. Maybe we'll have to find out after this review.
Also, what you said was basically the equivalent of no one making a Sonic video essay that goes, Sonic is bad, here's my idea, can exist. Because they all suck shit. They're all like, here's my brilliant idea for a good 3D Sonic, and they're all terrible. That's
I think
what
Sonic
you're saying.
is about going fast.
I don't feel like it's exactly the same.
Yes, it
I
is.
feel like there's no inherent hypocrisy in the Sonic video essayist.
Yeah,
There's
there
just
is.
stupidity.
There's a level of self-importance in being completely unaware of yourself that Doug Walker walks the line with, and I feel like a lot of those videos do too, where they're just like, here's my brilliant idea. And it's like, no, that sucks shit too. What the fuck are you on?
Well, my thoughts on Epic Movie is there was a lot of horrible, gross things in this, but it also moved really fast.
I would like to remind everyone, a human eats human shit in this. A human,
yes,
in an extended sequence, eats shit. Theo, go ahead.
What?
As horrible as those parts were, I expected them to be worse. Based on I built up pessimism to protect myself.
Every time Phil is positive about something in content we do, I always just go, ugh, you.
And it had a lot of violence I thought was very funny. So I'm going to give this a -3.
Oh my
It gets 1 point for moving really, really fast, and it gets 1 point for the scene where the guy gets stabbed.
I give it 1 grace point. That's it. That's all I can allow.
This was better than Meet the Spartans would have been. You all failed to give us the worst movie.
Did someone chug piss in that? Like, how is it worse? Like, how is it worse than this where a human eats shit?
Well, I mean, the premise and title is like, hey, 300's pretty hot right now.
I mean, there's puking. I'm pretty sure there's puking in Meet the Spartans.
Does anyone eat the puke? What exceeds eating human shit, Phil?
The fact, okay, think of it this way. That's a 10 level of bad. There are parts of this movie that were like a 5 level of bad. All of Meet the Spartans is a solid 9.
I was about to say, yeah, it's all a bunch of 8s and 9s, isn't it?
So I guess instead of eating the shit, they just play around with it for 2 hours? Is that what you're saying?
One of the characters kills, what the hell's his name?
Leonidas.
Sylvester Stallone. They kill him with Botox.
Okay, yeah, that's not ranking anywhere near eating human shit.
Well, that leaves us at a -17. That's above an average of 4, of -4. So I think that's right.
He's wrong.
Oh, I thought you were trying to do math and getting confused.
Dan is very upset. So we'll let Dan start off with his favorite character.
Fuck you, Phil. Fuck you and every last patron who voted for
Can we have Dan lead on favorites but go last on least favorites?
No, I can't do that to him.
You know what?
What?
I'm gonna have to go with chick who jogs in slow motion. She didn't scar me in any meaningful way. And as I think of literally every character in this film, she may be the only one. Chick who jogs in slow motion didn't eat shit. Chick who jogs in slow motion didn't have a weird monobrow fetish and wasn't involved in a weird inflation scene. Chick who jogs in slow motion didn't have her nuts knocked out with a mallet and then want to fuck a MILF.
God.
He
Stop,
refers
Dan,
to it.
please. Please. We don't need to go through all of them right now. They're all bad.
Chick who jogs
sorry,
in slow
Dan. You
motion.
can't use this as a platform to attack the other parts of the movie.
The hell I can't. Chick who jogs in slow motion entered the film and left the film with dignity. She's the only person who
God
did.
fucking damn it.
Even the shitty Jack Sparrow knockoff didn't enter and leave the movie with dignity. His fucking death scene sucked. His whole arc sucked. Every part of the movie around him sucked. He was the primary focus of the Lazy Sunday ripoff. Like,
If I remember right, it was
Oh, Dan, you have to say.
You're done.
No, you could go for 15 minutes in each segment easy. I know you can.
but yeah, that's why she came in and out of the movie unscathed.
With honor. Good to know. Bob, who's your favorite character?
I'm gonna try and pick a character who is one of the main cast so that it doesn't seem like I'm cheating.
Oh, how brave.
I'm gonna choose the black girl, the main character, because I can't
Oh, the
remember
one
anything.
who puked all over everything?
Look, that was not as nearly as bad as anything else that happened in this movie to all these characters.
What did the dumb bitch, what did the dumb white girl do that was so offensive, more offensive than puking?
She just did the same exact joke for 2 hours straight. She did one thing
better
over
than
and over.
puking.
And it wasn't funny. It wasn't funny once. It could have been funny. You can make good dumb humor.
Yeah.
They failed.
Yeah.
They just had to repeat whatever the last person said.
But Bob, there was a really good joke they stole from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, that's the thing she did. She freaking had the extendo tongue, and then they had to take an axe too.
You're right. You're right.
That's so much worse than puking.
I don't know. That didn't bother me because there was no blood.
It's still disgusting. You see it like coming out of her mouth.
She was trying to saw it in half with the fucking knife.
Yeah, it was
It was very elaborate. It was very elaborate.
I'm glad it was extended for the unrated cut.
Oh yeah, I bet you are.
Oh God, I tried to forget.
Oh, my up.
Yeah, you're up.
Okay. Jack Swallows. I like that character. He was an aggressively bad Johnny Depp. I think the scene where he quietly slides the knife into the dude was funny. They kept doing the wheel bit because Pirates 2 was hot, I guess. And yeah, I don't think there was any part where he was doing something in a scene where I'm like, no, I don't like this. I was fine with this.
He had that awful song, but other than that,
Yeah, no, that song's
Yeah. Then the reveal is not even a real pirate ship and stuff. There was some good stuff with him. I liked him.
Well, my favorite character was Aslow's stunt actor
yeah, that's fair.
because just them.
character.
It was a surprisingly self-aware joke, I feel like, surrounding him of just you have a scrawny old schlubby white dude, and when it's fight scene time he becomes a enormous jacked Asian man, and you keep focusing on his face in the shots.
One time it just held for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, when he gets knocked down.
Yep.
Well, that's all our favorite characters. Now we really get to unload with who we hate the most. KZ gets to start with who he hates the most.
Okay. There's a lot of bad characters here. Many of them just disappear almost immediately because it's like, hey, this character appears for one bit and then goes away. All right, I will pick something for early on in the movie. The bad Samuel L. Jackson.
That was so bad.
Oh yeah, where he couldn't yell.
Because he kept doing the same bit, which is like, hey, it's fun. We're making fun of the people that only know this movie because of the snake bit, and he says it. But then also he's a bad Samuel L. Jackson impression who's not even raising his voice much at all. Looks nothing like him. He's like, whatever, it's a black guy. Put on the hat. And that was their best attempt.
Yeah.
I just found that aggressively unfunny. It was like a bad Family Guy bit that was somehow twice as long.
Yeah, that was definitely worse than eating human shit.
I'm talking about my least favorite character.
Yeah,
You tried
guy
to
who
say
eats shit ranks higher than Samuel L. Jackson knockoff. I got you.
Well, Dan, it's your turn. Who's your least favorite character?
I'm just making sure
Trying to
we're
hog.
setting up the ranking correctly. Trying to get straight your
No.
priorities. Trying to understand your ranking. That's all.
Dan, enlighten us. Who's the lowest in the Dan ranking?
Okay, so here's the problem. And it is a real problem. I have to
I
choose.
can't choose 800 characters.
No, there are only two. There are two absolute worst characters, and they're really hard to choose between. Because there is a guy who ends up eating human shit and doesn't notice somehow, and then wants
It's
to
delicious.
and then wants to fuck the evil white bitch. There's that guy. But then there's man who claps while literally foaming at the mouth for a monobrow inflation scene. And they tie. They tie in my book, and I'm gonna have to go with eats human shit because that's easier to explain to people.
Poor Cal Penn.
I'm gonna have to go with Edward. Cal Penn is fine. He's great in other films, but Edward from Epic Movie is a fucking crime.
Yeah, no, he has literally every one of the worst things associated with him.
I wish I knew how much money he made.
I hope he got at least $8 million.
He has to. he has to have, or this had either he got paid really well because we recognize him and he's a decent actor, or this was early enough that they didn't need to.
I mean, Harold and Kumar Went to White Castle did blow up a lot.
Right, and this was after that.
Yeah,
and
that
it
was
was a
like at
comedy
least
film.
a few years before that.
This was 3 years after that, and he was in Superman fucking Superman Returns.
He's been in a lot of stuff. This is tragic.
Yeah, I hope he got paid a lot, but yeah, Edward's my least favorite character, the worst character in this film.
There was a lot of shit eating.
Way too
There actually
much.
wasn't that much.
Like
There wasn't that much. Feels like I deal with more than this on a regular basis.
You know, feel this bit where you try to downplay everything in this film is getting real fucking old.
Look, I'm sorry.
They show him eating the club with nuts in it, Phil.
Some depraved goblin dwarf monster. Everything's fine. It could be so much worse.
Apparently, to rank for feel, he needs to pull out a nugget every 5 minutes of the film and just
I'm gonna
eat
make
it.
you eat shit.
Okay, look, it was under 5 minutes long, and they never called back to it. I was expecting the shit eating to be a thread through the entire movie.
Yeah, he just drinks
You
tea
see, it's
later.
okay, Dan. The dude may have killed someone, but he isn't a serial killer.
Unironically, yes, a single murderer is better than a serial killer. I can still admit it's bad. I just expected worse.
I still love that you made the joke of, oh, Frodo's just gonna eat shit, and then we got an equivalent
Yeah.
Yeah.
before we watched the movie. You're like, that'll happen.
I can't believe how, and even though I'm saying it's, by the way, I'm saying it wasn't that bad. You go listen to that commentary. I'm wailing the entire time it's happening, begging it to stop.
Now, I've been so focused on this show that when I said I searched Nostalgia Critic Epic Movie, I only looked at the top result. Right below it, I see Epic Movie Review from Nostalgia Critic Junior. There's someone who has made a character called Nostalgia Critic Junior on YouTube. And
We can't open that door. We can't open that door.
They
The
have
character.
They have very, very small amount of
I have
subscribers.
an incredibly relevant thing to mention.
Okay.
Oh no!
Unbelievable. Did not expect this. KZ, you may be right. You may be right. You know why?
Why?
In the theatrical version, he doesn't even say motherfucking snakes. He says goddamn. Because the theatrical version is PG-13.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have really cemented it as the worst character even harder.
Oh.
The idea, we're gonna parody this thing, but we also can't do it properly because of our rating.
Yeah. That's all these movies are. I feel like they got worse as they went on because they stayed PG-13 and they ran out of things to do in a PG-13 movie, so they just got really weird.
How many
weirder
of these,
than this? Even.
How many of these movies do you think involved Borat parodies?
I don't think there's one in Meet the Spartans, which was the next one, so they must have. They
I
can't
get
have done one
physically
after
uncomfortable
that.
when you say movies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what they are.
They're movies.
Anyway, after that tangent, I picked the character Dan didn't. Peter sucks.
Which one's Peter? Is he like the? Does he look
Screwy.
like?
He's the one who likes
Oh,
clapping.
okay.
He's
For,
the
for
one.
the first 20 minutes, I thought that was the dude from that 70s show that was also Venom in Spider-Man 3, only British.
Mm.
It was fucking me up a
They
little
do
bit.
look very, very. No, not very, very, but they do look minorly similar. Not a lot, but I can kind of see it.
Oh God.
Just reminding me when you said this character looks at this is a good
This is definitely Jack Black
this is
right
a good
now.
version of that character, and it's like fucking no.
Look, I have face blindness apparently.
Phil just can't see. We can't blame him.
His monitor
You're
has
right.
face blindness. That's all.
I guess one fat white guy in a wig and fake facial hair looks like another fat white guy in a wig and fake facial hair.
I'm glad we cracked the code.
That dude who played Peter apparently also played someone in Date Movie.
Of course he did.
Of course. I'm gonna see Eric on one of your streams and go, "Oh, it's Nacho Libre."
He doesn't deserve that.
We got to go into our favorite scene.
Oh man, I didn't have to pick anybody.
Bob
Thank
didn't
God.
have to pick anyone.
I forgot. We went on such a tangent. Bob, who do you hate the most? Who caused the biggest scar in your soul?
I think since the worst ones were taken, I'm gonna say the White Witch parody because she is awful. Everything.
Yeah.
Like she spawns the bottle of pee for the dude to drink. She has the weird spanking scene. She has the scene.
Oh, that's right. I missed the weird spanking scene.
Yeah, that's right.
She has the.
I bet you knew it was coming and you just left it.
If there was a scene I was going to leave the movie for, don't you think it would be the part with the clapping flip fetish or the fucking eating shit?
Yeah, those definitely.
Those definitely are worse than whatever could have happened during the spanking scene.
She had the weird Davy Jones parody out of nowhere that was just stapled into the movie.
It was aggressively bad costume.
Yeah, that was real bad.
It was between her and then every single person in the Harry Potter universe. Because,
Wait, why does Date Movie parody X-Men 2?
man, don't look at it. Don't even.
Do you want to find out
Stop.
why?
No, we're going to stop talking.
See?
Bob, continue.
Go
Bob,
ahead.
please.
No, next. Move on. Get
We're
out of
good?
here.
We're
I'm
good?
good.
Okay, next category.
Okay, Bob, you're going again. You get to tell me who your favorite character is. I mean, your favorite scene is.
Who is my favorite scene? I'm gonna take that one that's already basically been talked about before, where Jack Sparrow stabs Kumar.
It's really
I'm
good.
so upset. That was the best scene.
That was always
It
going to
really
be. It is.
It was always going to be a race for that scene.
It's just so casual, and the reaction is like not cartoony.
Right,
also,
it's real.
Also, when Edward just yells, "You could have faked it," that is really good. He's like, "Why'd you do that? You could have faked it."
Stop making me think about it. It was a good scene.
It was a really good scene,
It was the only good scene in this movie.
and it was less than a minute long.
right? Like seconds later, they were rapping. It was terrible.
That is such a good summary of this movie. Seconds after the good
It was
moment,
really good.
they
But now
were
they're rapping and it's awful.
There was a lot of rapping in this. I guess because it was made for 14-year-old white kids.
Yeah.
So that would explain it.
Let's go.
I'll go next. I disagree with the assessment that was the only good movie. I thought the scene of the fawn guy getting shot over and over again
Yeah,
was pretty
You're like,
funny.
That
if
was
they keep
almost
doing this,
funny.
I'll laugh. And then you start laughing.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good.
It wasn't perfect, but it was better executed than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
If you want to make me laugh, all you have to do is have blunt violence go on longer than you'd expect.
We've learned that, yes.
I just think of it. Oh wait, this is the same joke as in Austin Powers 3, but that did it a little better.
Yeah.
What scene? From Austin?
When he falls off when the spy guy falls off the cliff
Or when
talking.
yeah. Well, he gets burnt into like
The incinerator.
the incinerator
thing.
thing under the chair, and then they just keep dragging it. And like, yeah, that was
A
kinda
majority of this movie is the same as that scene in Goldmember where they keep pointing out the dude's mole and the scene goes on for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen Goldmember. I assume it's very bad.
It's Kino.
It's bad.
funny. It's better than this, probably.
Well, no shit. This is a negative 5.
It is absolutely better than this.
Because wasn't Goldmember like the first R-rated one?
It was the last
The other two were
movie they did in
PG-13.
that series. It was the third one.
Yeah, I don't know if it was
Until
R-rated.
they bring it back.
Yeah, until they bring it back. God, I hope they don't.
Anyways, whose turn is it now?
Anyways, it is Dan, your turn for your favorite scene. Now that the two that could be picked are picked.
I'm going to go with the fight scene between Aslo and the guy from the Da Vinci Code. That's my favorite scene.
Yeah,
Because swapping out for a buff Asian dude, like, guys, I'm not sure if you know, that is exactly, as Bob said in the commentary, that is exactly what happens to Sonya Blade in fucking Mortal Kombat 2's movie. It is a ripped Asian dude.
it's way funnier in Mortal Kombat though.
It's harder to notice,
It is harder to notice,
but
when
it's
you
fucking
do,
unreal. because it's this skinny
The
white
difference
chick.
is Mortal Kombat's trying to hide it.
Yeah, the skinny white
Yeah.
chick gets swapped for an incredibly ripped Asian. And that scene is also really good in this because they definitely just keep holding on it, and that's funny. And it's definitely the best scene. Yep.
Well, KZ, you're up.
I'm trying to think of like the best. You've taken so many of the good ones. Trying to think of any that gave me anything approaching joy. I guess the first X-Men scene. I thought that was okay. Part where Magneto shows up, I like that.
I did laugh the first time I saw his costume because it was really bad.
Yeah, I was like, you're really about this life. I thought it was okay, but then I immediately got sad because they're really doing a Willy Wonka bit. I thought Epic Movie was supposed to be for blockbusters. What?
Yeah, that why is Willy Wonka such a big part of Epic Movie?
Yeah, I didn't get it, but I guess that scene was okay.
Well, now we get to unload on it again. And I'll start with my least favorite scene. I won't pick the scene I actually think is the worst because I feel like someone else has more of a right to it than me. So, I'll go with the puking scene.
You were mortified at the end.
So she pukes. She spews puke 4 times, and then she turns around and tongue kisses a guy. I was absolutely positive there was going to be a puking in his mouth joke. I had never been more sure of anything in my life.
You were pleading with the movie not to do it.
And the movie showed mercy. And it was just oh, that's gross, her mouth must taste like puke joke. Thank God. I'm getting heart palpitations thinking about how I felt while the possibility existed.
Raw.
KZ, you get to go second.
That was worst scene. I guess I'll go with the scene that that made me want to not look at the screen the most and hurt the most. When he ate the shit. When he ate the shit. It was either going to be that or the tongue eating the shit. When he took the bite out of the log, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I was jerking around in my seat. I was like, it's so much worse than I thought it could be. Him going, it's delicious. It's delicious.
Yeah.
That's it. That's mine.
Yeah.
Melts in your mouth, not in your hand.
Bob.
I have to choose between creepy pervert Harry Potter and the tongue scene. We've already talked about that horrible tongue scene. Let's not do that again. Okay, it's going to be creepy pervert Harry Potter goes up and molests one of the main characters while he's in the invisible cloak.
I'm really curious if that was an unrated thing, because I think just showing the grabbing, I feels like would violate PG-13.
Yeah, I don't think he landed the grab in the theatrical version, but the whole setup is there for sure.
Right, yeah.
I don't remember. I haven't seen the theatrical version
I can't
in
imagine
12 years.
From what I assume was the unrated stuff, I feel like there had to have been like 1 minute. Maybe not even that.
No, they extend most of the shots in this, just really mundane shit. Like, as I said at the beginning, the painting of the dogs playing poker was an unrated thing.
Fucking anything for that anything for that bullet point on the box.
Yeah, because then people's imaginations go wild.
They're like, oh man, it's going to be way crazier.
My imagination went mild and it produced a far more terrifying movie than what we got.
Fields version, there are 6 scenes where they eat shit, 2 hours
Yeah.
they sever tongues, and way more fetishes.
Feels like I'm insane, so this movie's okay.
Right, it's like, this movie's fine. I the one I invented in my head that no human could ever get produced, that one's bad.
I'm sad this is patrons only. Only a small percent get this taste of Psycho.
Look, I knew nothing about this movie, and all of our Thursday stream, Dan was acting like he was walking towards execution. Yeah, but the bar was low.
It was a visual execution.
I was expecting I was expecting the scene in Scary Movie where the heroine gets glued to the ceiling with semen blasting into her like a fire hose, and then there was one of those every 5 minutes.
Well,
Like, that's how foul I expected this to be.
wouldn't that movie be called Wouldn't It Be Funny If?
We already had we had like 6 of those scenes in this movie already.
Yeah, what if her legs really hairy? Wouldn't that be funny?
Oh God, I forgot.
What if there was? I'm surprised they didn't call back to that. Like, that wasn't a plot point.
Yeah.
Part animal.
What if there was a bunch of goat babes around the around the hot tub?
Yeah.
Who went last? We got lost again.
Oh, I went.
Okay, Dan, you're last.
You know, honestly, Bob, I was hoping he forgot I didn't go so I wouldn't have to talk about my least favorite scene.
That's completely fair, Dan. I didn't want to have to go.
So you chose the tongue thing. What was the alternative?
No. I chose the Harry Potter thing because the
okay.
tongue thing
So-
we already talked about enough.
Tongue thing for me doesn't rank.
No.
It doesn't rank at all.
That's one of the
doesn't
moments I
rank.
had to look away because I just couldn't deal with her taking a knife
I get
to
that.
it.
I get that. And
The
everyone's
effect
different.
was too like bloodless and not organic for me to really be grossed out.
Yeah, for me, the two scenes have always been, in my mind, eating shit and man who claps while foaming at the mouth while a fetish plays out on screen.
I didn't want to talk about that one, period.
Yeah, me neither. And then someone said, "Oh, it's Dan's turn." You should have been like, "That's everyone feel. I saved you, Dan." And then I would have looked at you with tears in my eyes, knowing you saved me on that day. Yeah, my least favorite scene is the one where Mystique can turn into anything. So, what is that guy? Peter. Right, because with his haircut, I thought he was going to be a Peter Parker thing, but then he wasn't.
Pervert son something.
Pervertsky is their name for some reason, which I feel like there must have been a joke in the script about at some point, and they just took it out.
Well,
Or that was the whole joke. And
the joke is the
intellectually
Mystique scene, I guess. Also, there's that sex scene with Aslo where he says, "My bottom hurts."
Oh, God.
Oh,
Why
yeah.
was that there? It was so random. It just, ugh.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? It's sex. But yeah, the part where he says, "Bingo wings, I want bingo wings," and he claps, that's horrible. That entire scene's horrible.
Very horrible.
It went way too far. And the fact they thought they needed a practical effect for the monobrow, not great. So that scene, eating shit, definitely would have been neck and neck with it. I don't know which one's worse. They're both pretty bad, but KZ took that bullet.
Not to keep saying I expected worse scenes to be in this movie. This isn't related to the Mystique one. The Mystique one was as bad as I expected.
Fucking kill you.
But I am thankful to God. Knowing there was Willy Wonka shit in this movie, I just expected like somebody to turn into a blueberry.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. As I said, we haven't seen this film in 12 years. Unfortunately, during the week it came out, there was nothing else to see that I can recall. And it was this weird thing of like, some of the people going to the theater would have liked this type of film. Some of the people would have preferred that type of film. And this was sadly the compromise film for everyone involved. Sadly.
Oh no, this was that thing where everybody compromises so nobody is happy.
Yeah.
Yes, it was literally that. I didn't remember
Almost a similar feeling here.
Yes, definitely that.
Everyone compromised, so Bob picked something random.
I'm gonna go ahead and so I didn't remember how far the Willy Wonka stuff did, and I was mortified that I didn't remember several more fetishes being inserted into the Willy Wonka part of this movie. So I'm with Phil on that. I thought the Willy Wonka terror fetish show was going to ensue because all I could remember was eating shit.
That whole Willy Wonka segment.
She lost her head.
And the fact that Willy
torture
Wonka
stuff. God.
Oh yeah, the weird torture stuff. God.
The only even remotely good part in it was the laughably terrible head mold they used for the prop head.
Yeah, that was hilariously bad. But yeah, and since that thing only covered like a fifth of the length of that movie, I expected 5 times as many scenes.
Yeah, I expected because they dumped the Willy Wonka stuff's really only the one scene.
It's like it's the reason to get them together, and then it's I don't know 2-3 scenes because keep in mind they're taking mallets and knocking out testicles,
Yeah, that was.
and then there's eating human shit, and then that's it basically.
And there's also the non-joke part where they just do the thing that happened in the movie where he comes out
Oh my
acting
God,
like
yeah.
a cripple.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just excruciatingly stole that joke.
And they didn't even, like, for some reason, he walked out like he couldn't walk well. And one of the main characters like, oh, disgusting. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, it's weird. I couldn't figure out if that joke was about him being crippled or his wardrobe.
Okay, I'm gonna add another scene, a horrible scene from the very beginning that I really expected there to be more of.
Yeah.
Which is when what the hell's his name? I forgot his name already. Cal Penn. When Cal Penn's arm gets broken and there's a split-second gore shot of the bone coming out of the skin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was really bad.
There is like 5 of those in Meet the Spartans, so I expected 5.
Yeah. That's fair. Oh man, this movie sucks shit. What were they thinking?
Does anybody have any fucking final thoughts about Epic Movie?
The people who made this are bad. I can't believe Cal Penn signed on for this. I hope he got paid a lot of money. Yeah. You know, as bad as the parodies of a bunch of other stuff is, the Da Vinci Code parodies may be the lowest brow.
Yes.
They were just
I
there.
keep forgetting those scenes were even there.
Why were they
Yeah.
even in
Yeah,
epic movie?
It's just a fucking void.
Because the Da Vinci Code is an epic film, Bob.
There's
Sure.
like the guy breakdancing. There's
Yeah.
David Carradine
Yeah.
breakdancing.
To spell out letters, and all this letters spell out is Da Vinci.
And there's the code. There's the code cylinder that has a pop top.
That says, what was it, crunk up?
Get crunk.
Oh, there we go.
And then there was the painting with their pictures in it. And I think that was the only 3 bits from the Da Vinci Code, and they were all stupid and bad.
And for some reason, the painting pictures started talking, and it was really creepy looking.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And also that villain who kept chasing them the whole movie, who was Whiteface.
Yes.
Oh yeah, reverse Justin Trudeau. Thanks for referencing the goat character, KZ. I'd almost forgotten about him.
Yeah. Him making out with that puppet sure was funny.
What if we see it another 5 times?
It would be 5 times as funny.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Anybody have anything else?
Nope.
No.
No.
Nope.
No.
No.
I mean, Dan unleashed like 17 blurbs at the start, which saved us plenty of time.
Well, normally, as we established last month, this would be where Bob chose our fate for the next month. However, we're taking a 1-month break away from that for something special that you will see. You will see the things that are in plan.
I have no idea what it is. I'm getting
You
anxiety.
you will see what is to come, patrons.
Oh no. It's probably gonna be bad, and then Phil will say it's good.
I didn't say this movie was in what fucking universe is -3 good. I expected to be shot. Thanks for only stabbing me. Casey's like, oh, he loves being stabbed.
This fucker loves being stabbed. I bet he jacks off.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking do it to him right now.